Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And tonight, y'all, we're going to the temple. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? What does that activate? What does that conjure in you as to what's possible? And today's guest is just absolutely extraordinary. She was recently introduced to me a few months ago through another speaker who y'all know here on our series Beyond the Ordinary. Um, and the session just blew me away. Kaley's capacity to really tune in and the experiences that she was taking me into, it felt like a past life regression, activation, connection with my guides, attunement into what's here, and an ownership into what's been dormant within me, all wrapped up in this vitalization of energy that is becoming alive. And then she's so adept at not only guiding through that place where we're getting our own information, but really holding a space for the highest octave of whatever guides or facilitators want to come through, but also holding me. And she'll do the same for you. I'll say accountable, but I mean that in the most positive way of what she can see that you're capable of holding and holding that standard for you to access. And you'll find and you'll experience it on today's call, most likely. As Kaley's saying, she's probably going to channel Isis and bring in transmission from her as well. And we'll get into a lot of Q&A also. But I have a feeling that you're going to have a visceral experience on today's call as well. And so it's going to be extraordinary. We're going to open up to Q&A. We're going to talk about to the temple, what that means, what's that taking us into. There'll be a transmission, live Q&A, an amazing special offer that we'll get into a little bit later. And with that, Kaley, welcome to the show and welcome to Beyond the Ordinary. Thank you so much for agreeing to being on here for us.
Oh my goodness, it was a no-brainer. I have received so much from this beautiful community and you over the last, I guess, almost decade. And I'm just so honored to be able to pour back into this space and see what we create tonight.
Amazing. So let's get into a little background from you because you're so tuned in so many different ways. And I know my description of my sessions only it's the tippy tip of the iceberg of your capacities. So if you could share more how it is that you work with clients individually in private sessions or in group settings, and who and what comes through you and for what purpose.
Yeah, so I love, when you talk about the iceberg, I think a lot about what pops into my head is Atlantis and a
Mm,
lot of what has been coming through in my own healing journey. And then also what I'm bringing forward with my clients and with group sessions is really all about returning us to these tones, these qualities of living a life of heaven on earth, kind of this utopia that a lot of us, even as I say that word, we quickly, our minds go to, well, that's not possible here. There's just too much bad in the world. But what spirit has really shown me through the energy that they're bringing through me, through the transformations that I'm witnessing, is that it really is possible. And we truly have to decide that we are going to choose to believe in that and to be able to bring in and align with through open hearts, through open vessels that are fully embodying all of these feeling tones of abundance, prosperity, and really feeling that reverberating through our beingness in our bones,
mm,
through our flesh and our bones, so that we can reap all of the benefits of that, the fruits of our labor, so to speak, and then allow that to ripple out to the people that we commune with, and then even, more broadly into the global community when we think about, being one and being one global heart, one individual as me healing my heart services that
mm.
broader picture that then helps to bring in all of this beauty and grace and compassion that spirit shows me every day is completely here, right here, available to us now, no matter what is being shown to us in our external reality that may tell us otherwise.
Yes. What you have a beautiful capacity of doing that I've learned in the couple of sessions that I've had in you is you can illuminate what's happening in the outer reality, but there's another reality that's taking place as well, where there's so much assistance that is really there for me whenever we don't think that there's support or we don't see the way out of the hole that perhaps the world has dug us into, that we've dug ourselves into. That not only that the helping hand, but the powerful, benevolent forces that are coming to guide us to the own divinity within us is just extraordinary. So in our sessions, your capacity to connect with an awareness that I had of who was in my field, but
Mm.
you naming them out loud, whether it be my grandmother or Christ consciousness and Melchizedek energy, you so just tune directly into that. How do you do that? And how is it that you, I don't know if you can answer that, but do you find that that happens a lot with you and clients that you can feel the resonance of what's rising within them or who's working through them and they just start communicating with you?
Yes, and it's almost like just as we talk about conceptually in spiritual law and awareness, this, the sky's the limit, there's infinite possibility. I almost find that as I heal myself and really focus on being as pure of a vessel as possible and really practicing what I preach, being an open, surrendered heart, no judgment, unconditional love and support, wrapping my angel wings around, my client or a group, really allowing anything and everything that will service that human, that soul in that human body to come through me. And so that can span all sorts of different types of energies. And what is also really interesting to me is just this level of being able to see what is compacting us inside our bodies. We may even have a connection. There was a point in time where I had a connection to my guides, but it still felt outside of me. I still felt separate from them. And there was a really big transformation for me when I realized that I was not separate from them. I am just as worthy as they are. And I can be in the driver's seat, really calling on them to co-create with me. And so there's this element of really being able to see what role our ego and our human psyche is playing in keeping us in that feeling of separation that we're born into. It's part of the human experience. And so I think what my kind of superpower is really being able to see the duality of that, but then holding powerfully for you your true potential here at this kind of column of light, this stand that is in a beautiful, tranquil river of peace, and love, and being able to hold space for you to access that potentiality while also really culling away all that stuff that keeps us from being able to see that we are them and they are us, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense, and it's making more sense to me in this level of this expansion that I'm feeling within myself. But I feel it in here in community as well. I'm feeling it's showing up, and we're being stretched in the most beautiful ways. And
Hmm.
the stretching can seem uncomfortable, but there's a joy and excitement to it because we know an essence of us knows there's an intelligence in us that knows that we're stretching into the receivership of these benevolent energies and guides and embodiments that we're ready to start assimilating now. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to talk to. Again, we talked about the ISIS communication that wants to come through. Um,
Hmm.
and again, you connect to Christ consciousness, angels, goddesses, ancestors, spirit guides. It's really impressive what's coming through you. And we had a call last week where our expert also the teacher in that it's like she's bringing in a lot of Isis energy as well. Is there something during this time right now um that Isis is representing, or is there a reason why she is being as outspoken in particular, at least with this platform at this time?
Well, specifically in this kind of time capsule that we're in terms of the last couple of weeks, it is very interesting when you think about the summer solstice that's happening on Thursday and then leading up to this full moon on Friday. And so when you think about some of the rituals and rites that the ancient Egyptians did, when we think about the rising of Sirius, which is the star of Isis, um, a lot of us who were in her lineage and kind of priestesses of the Isis light are coming in to earth now at this time to really bring this energy of purification that comes with the Isis white flame. And so I work a lot with the white light of Isis, the white flame of Isis. It's really about this complete, almost miraculous purification energy, and really working through those denser energies that we can hold, all of us hold. There's no judgment there because that's what we come in to heal. And so this is really a time where I feel like Isis is coming in strong, saying the opportunity is right here and it's right now. And I think so many of us are coming, we chose this time to incarnate and be here to really hold space for what's happening. Um, and I think that for me, what I've learned is that I spent a lot of years in healing, where I was still resistant to healing my guarded heart. And so, what Isis really helped me do with the birth of my second child was really to step into my power and to really step into my heart and allow that heart energy. The heart is this master healer, this portal to spirit and our soul energy, our origin source template. It's almost like I see it as the heart being this walkway to this rainbow bridge that takes us to our source template. And so that's really all connected because it's all about bringing us back online through an open and surrendered heart,
Mhm.
where we're really able to embody that energy and bring it through in everything that we do.
Yeah, we're definitely learning how to articulate that in ways that
Right.
we haven't before.
Right. Exactly. And for each of us, that articulation and that journey getting to that articulation looks so different. Each of us carry such a different signature, but part of my signature is that kind of Isis. I work with, a lot of, like you mentioned, a lot of different energies. She came in, she was one of the first goddesses that I connected with and just saw so clearly. And she really helped kind of break through a bunch of illusions and falsehoods about myself that I had, collected over the years. So she was instrumental. And now I work with that energy to bring that. It's almost like, we're not bypassing anything, but we can speed up when we actually go and approach our healing through that heart.
Mhm. Yeah, we don't hit the bumps of resistance along the way when we go directly in, right?
Exactly. We're using that kind of origin source, that energy, that kind of soul energy that is all knowing, and calling on all of that co-creation with all of these different benevolent beings that are here to assist us, and moving that. And so when we're working through that, it feels a little easier.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. D- Do you feel, or is it being demonstrated to you? Okay, so there's this wave that ISIS is bringing in through a consciousness right now that we can perhaps resonate with, and it's a calling, if you will, an invitation, really into an initiation.
Hmm.
I really feel like that. Do you find that there's windows of initiation, and if the choice is not to step in, that we have to wait for perhaps another window or go through another doorway that maybe come open later, or is because for me, I don't feel them that they're always necessarily open all the time. Sometimes they are,
Right.
but there are opportunities to really go directly in. And I feel that what you're speaking of again, this empowerment that Isis is bringing through her consciousness as she's transmitting to us, that provides the opportunity of really choosing
Mm.
something that is different than what we've chosen in ignorance before.
It's a great question, and I feel like, it's almost I want to answer it two ways because I do
Mhm.
feel that there are these portals, right, or these times and these kind of I almost see them like waves that can just quickly it's almost like an amplifier, right? Or it's able to kind of just get us there maybe a little bit faster. And at the same time, I've found in my healing that if I rely too much on those time periods, then I'm finding myself waiting to jump in and not making a lot of progress. And so I'm really feeling called to say, first and foremost, really anchoring into that heart in connection to our soul essence and our origin source template, and then really asking the goddess Isis to be with us and to hold us. And then when those waves of opportunity rise up, to really allow our intuition to be open so that we can follow those waves. And then obviously when that comes down, the integration happens and that she's with us and holding space for us.
I agree with you. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily about astrological events, even though those can be amazing openings and invitations. Um, and there's some things that we can look to in humans to, it's like to kind of remember on the calendar, it's like, hey, there's an opportunity perhaps if it's resonant for me. But no, I'm aware that these guides, the spirit really show up when we're ready.
They do, and I
Yeah.
find that it really is. I went through a period actually where after I had my third son, where my team was kind of changing the
Hmm.
the quality, the signature. And so a lot of the angelic presence came in. I got my wings after my third child was born and saw my wings and did a massive reparation on those. And to your point, it's almost these moments where your guides might feel a little quieter, or there might be new guides coming in, or maybe you need to really be in your human and be present in the moment. And so Isis isn't chomping at the bit to come in and really do a massive healing at times where we need to really be focused on being present in our human. And I love how you said that because it's almost like we're in this deep relationship with ourselves where we can also ride those waves, those seasons, the duality when we're in hibernation or when we're in a big healing peak. And so, really being able to ride those waves internally and knowing that it's okay if the guides go a little quiet at times. There were times where the guides basically said, all right, no more sessions with outside people for a little while. We're going to teach you and you have to become this very focused student. And that was scary because it forced me to really trust myself and my heart and my guidance. But I'm so thankful that I did that because it was allowing me to kind of grow and also step further into my power.
Yeah, it's just so, thank goodness you've stepped further into your power. Your work is absolutely amazing. Truly,
Oh,
your
thank you.
capacity to tune in is extraordinary. Hey, y'all, we're going to get into live Q&A in a little bit because I want y'all to experience Kaley and what she's bringing through. So if you want to ask a personal question, raise your hand. We'll put you live on Zoom, or you can type your question into the chat box. But I highly recommend you take advantage of this opportunity. And there's an opportunity to work with Kaley one-on-one and to go into a group setting as well. We'll go through that a little bit later. If you want to check it out now, though, Chris or April, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and put the special offer in the chat box and you can start looking at that. But before we get into that, and of course, we're going to get into the message from ISIS on the call also. We're not going to bypass that. Forget about that. But I want to ask you, Kaley, you talk about taking your clients on a comprehensive Akashic healing tour. What is that?
Oh, it's just so it's a beautiful blend of me essentially tuning in. And once I'm in that space with someone, I can't help but go on a journey. So it's almost like a meditation combined with energetic transmissions and a release. And it's just this beautiful experience that allows people to step into their own space, to be held, And we go on all of these metaphorical journeys and visualizations. And sometimes so many different images are popping up at the same time where I'm basically cataloging them. But spirit gives me that to be able to connect with clients individually. So every healing tour is unique to that individual. And so the metaphors that are coming through resonate with that specific person, the energies that are coming through. And so what I love about it is we almost go up to the angels and they take us on this amazing, almost like you go on a tour of a home or um, a tour of an ancient, beautiful, sacred site. We're going on this beautiful tour of you being that sacred site. And it travels through all timelines, and it's just incredible the impact that it has. The Akashic piece is really allowing us to access those records and being able to clear things in an instant. If we have an open and surrendered heart, you don't really need to feel it and name it, and you don't need to hold on to it. You don't need to overanalyze it. We can just clear it. And then you almost feel it instantaneously lifting off. And then what I also love about it is that spirit will, through the end, give us really practical guidance. Processes will come through, different ideas on how people can bring this into form. And it's just a very unique experience that I'm so grateful to be able to go on with each of my clients, because every session, I'm crying, I'm releasing for them. It's almost but it's the magic of tapping into that unconditional love and being able to truly help move somebody through a process.
Yeah, it was amazing what you were picking up for me during the sessions, and you were like purging it for me in different ways.
Yeah.
But we don't have to get too much into it, but I'm very open to you sharing your experience of my session with you, just in this small form, because I'm still integrating it, y'all. And then Kaley was amazing of sending me the recordings and giving me a practice to continue working with. And they're easy, short practice. It's not like I have to devote myself into like, an encyclopedia, if y'all remember what those are, of information
Yeah.
that we
I
have to
love
go through,
those.
right?
Um, but I think for me with you, what was so fun, and I bring in the word fun because healing, can feel heavy, right? And
Mhm.
it can feel like we're never going to get through it sometimes, especially if we feel like we're chipping on these like iron cages of these guarded hearts that we can create from these harsh human experiences. But what I loved about our sessions is that you have done so much work. And so the intensity of us being able to get up to the angels and kind of
Yeah.
play with
Hmm.
all of
Yeah.
those feeling tones that we were talking about earlier of prosperity and abundance and just shedding. It's almost like these deeper layers that we don't even remember, but we're
Hmm.
holding on to them in our energetic coding. We're just letting all of that go. It's almost like this grand siphoning that's happening from the water and being able to purify it. And so what was just really fun was playing around with that energy and how each session was so different for you,
Oh
but
yeah.
how aligned, the messages that were coming through even before we hopped on the calls, that
Right.
they were right where you were at. And I just feel really grateful to be able to kind of move up and down all of those vibrational frequencies with someone, because to be able to get up to that higher octave of the angelics, of the Elohim and the seraphim angels, and all of those beautiful tones that they bring in, and then moving down into Mother Earth and getting the support from her. It was just neat seeing all of that on display for you. And really, I say on display because they're just so grateful for all of the work that you're doing on this earth.
Hmm.
And so they were just so excited to support you. And so I think that that's for me part of the fun of this work is just really being able to see those shifts happening in real time, and then you being able to come, at the end of the call and say, I feel rebirthed. What a
Mhm.
gift, to be able to experience that. And um, so I,
It was extraordinary. I was so impressed with your capacity to travel to those realms and to tune in because it's a pretty pristine field and more and more of us are accessing it in different ways. But to meet someone who can play, like who can who can pitch fastball so you can hit it, is amazing. It's so much more fun to play in that and the expansion um, and the refinement that becomes available when we meet each other in that way. Um, there's a feeling of home. There's a sense of relief. There's again, we're polishing each other off in the crystalline essence that we're naturally evolving into. Or really taking ownership that we hold right now, depending on what's arising for us. So absolutely amazing.
I love what you just said about when we meet each other, because I think that that's a big piece of just almost that blissful state that we can get to when we're co-creating. And I feel like, a lot of times for me, it really is about that co-creation, is meeting somebody heart to heart, soul to soul,
Mhm.
soil to soil, and being able to say, I'm here for you, I'm holding space for you. Um, and that person having capacity to say, I'm here too, and I want to do this work, so it's hats off to those types of co-creation where, I
Mhm.
believe that as a healer, and the integrity of that healing and the pureness of that, the amount of work that I do each day to maintain that is important, and that we meet each other at that level of really wanting to drop the suffering and really being able to step into the beauty and the power and the true potential that our innate light holds.
Mhm. Yeah, it's extraordinary how we're meeting each other. It's just really just
Yeah.
fun. Thank goodness. Fun to plan. All right, let's go into some Q&A. I want y'all to experience Kaley because this is again, we're gonna get into the ISIS transmission, I'll call it for now. I don't know. We'll see how we define
We'll
it.
see what she wants
Um,
to bring through.
but we'll start going into Q&A first. And Lori, I want to start with you. Welcome to the call.
Thank you, John and Kaley. Am I saying your name correctly?
Yes. Hi,
Okay,
Lori.
thank you. Oh, I'm so glad to be here. I hardly ever get to come live. And I just love everything I'm hearing. My heart is so open, and
Hmm.
I just want to say I'm ready to do whatever, and let me know if there's any blocks I need to be aware of, because everything is primed to do my healing and energy work, and including my website and everything. And whew, yeah, so what do you have?
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, congratulations, because it sounds like you've done so much incredible work on yourself and being able to also do the human work of what it takes to put a healing business together. As you were talking, immediately I almost got this kind of crown spanning of light spanning across my crown. So I really want you to focus on taking a deep breath.
Mhm.
Ah, okay. Taking a deep breath and really bringing that down into your body, allowing yourself to just be at a still moment, and
Mhm.
really this transitional point between what you've been working on and where you're headed. Okay. So I almost want you to just take a breath and focus on bringing all that beautiful energy and trust and all the downloads, because it almost feels like we don't have to work quite so hard. We can breathe and get some spaciousness in that body again, allowing that spaciousness, because it almost feels like your heart feels like it wants to stay open, but there's some energy down here in the sacral chakra and the solar plexus, and especially in that root chakra, am I safe to go out there and do this? That's blocking the connection and the opening of the crown. So I'm just offering all of this beautiful light moving all the way down. The other interesting thing is when I was tapping into the energy of the crown, so breathing in all that light and that connection, breathing out any stress, any little dust bunnies that are in that kind of womb space, that sacral chakra, clearing it out. The other piece that I'm getting is almost focusing on your funnel, your marketing funnel. So when we think about that crown, I'm almost seeing like a marketing funnel, but really playing with it, not treating it like a traditional marketing funnel or you know, however you're called, but kind of playing with a little bit and seeing how you can utilize that to help launch what you're launching. Does that resonate?
Very much so, especially the playing with the marketing, because my corporate background was advertising and marketing, and
Me
I know what
too.
they say to do, and I don't want to do that. I want to do my own
Okay,
thing and follow my heart.
I spent 10 years in advertising, and
Yes.
I know that life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of that stuff, there's stuff that's good. Okay. And so this
Yes.
is divine
Yes.
discernment, where take the stuff that you know is solid advice, and then there's going to be an unwinding, you know, tossing the stuff that doesn't feel like it's in alignment with your heart-centered business. And so this is going to be something that you're going to be dancing with a bit, but I say the word dancing because it needs to feel fun and light and airy. Okay, because quickly when we start thinking about that funnel, we can go back into that old energy. So what you want to do is keep that open heart and move forward through this funnel. It's almost like I see you walking through a tunnel now and just looking at the funnel from the inside out, from that heart, looking at it differently. Um, and really being able to also not stay too tied to the way things are supposed to be done, and also knowing that it's a lot different marketing yourself than it is other people or other brands.
Mhm.
I was really great at marketing Coca-Cola, but it's really a lot harder marketing myself. So knowing that and being able to ask for help from the guides to pour that download in, or asking for help as you feel called from the earth helpers, other
Mm.
humans.
Thank
Beautiful.
you, thank you, thank you. I even heard funnel tunnel, like it's going to be fun.
There you go. I
Amazing.
know. See how they do that? But yeah,
Thank
just
Beautiful.
you.
stay in that energy and take a break. I want you to just do something fun, to give yourself a break, a pat on the back for what you've been doing, and just give yourself some space to breathe.
Mm.
Be excited.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Ah, Lori, can I offer a couple of things?
Absolutely, John.
First of all, do you know how beautiful you are?
Mm.
Like the essence of you and all that. And you're meant to be received. You weren't gifted with this beautiful heart and essence and presence just so you can sit on a mantle. You're supposed to have fun with it and play with it and receive and be an inspiration for others. You glow. You glow. And if I can see it, it's obvious. It's obvious. And you're just being guided to see it in the mirror and to know that you deserve to be received, but also that you deserve to receive simultaneously. We so get into the habit giving, 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 be a service, be a service, be of service, but we have to fill up our container before we can humbly, truly give to others.
Mm.
Truly. And that's part of your mastery and leadership, knowing how to be humble enough to receive so you can embody so that you can give from your overflow. And then I want to give you a practice. I want to get everybody a practice whenever we're in judgment of the past. So you don't like the way the funnels were, the advertising and all that, but there was gifts in it as well.
Mm.
And you want to take the energy of what you learned and convert it with your light into what it's been wanting to become, not what it used to be. Because just like you're evolving, it's evolving or wanting to evolve with you as first. Mantra, simple mantra for any one of us who are holding and judging anything from the past. I forgive myself and I forgive all of creation.
Mm.
I bless myself and I bless all of creation. 7, 9 times a day, just and repeating a mantra. And it's a forgiveness process. We can really see the benevolence of what's coming through, what's evolving. We're not to continue judging things as the way they were, because that is us putting them in a cell. That means we're doing the same thing to ourselves.
Mm.
If you can grow, so can everything else. So shine that with your beauty. Thank you for receiving that. I was really guided to share. Yeah, blessings to you and good work. Amazing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. All right, let's continue. Neil, let's go with you. Welcome, Neil.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Kaley, I'm loving everything you're saying.
Mhm. What's your question for Kaley? Yeah.
My question is, I have always struggled with loving myself, with self-confidence, and I just want to drop it all and step into the light. I've been working at holding love, and it just requires so much effort.
Mm.
And I'm a diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant. I love the work that I do, and I want to embed love and spirituality, uh, belongingness all into that without leaders really seeing that all. Because if I say that outright, they're not going to buy it, but I'm selling it, whether they know it or not.
Mm. So, do you feel a little bit of imposter syndrome
Yeah.
a bit with that?
Mm.
So, when you were talking, honestly, I mean, I've known you for this call, and the amount of love that I feel for you and from you is just could bring me to tears. And I just want you to know that you are so loved and you are so worthy of everything that you are. And it's not for what you do, it's just who you are. And it's like I want to give you a huge hug with my angel wings, and I want you to take just a breath. And even if it doesn't at first feel like a deep breath, I want you to put your hands over your heart. And I want you to imagine that I'm sending you just a beam of beautiful, pure love from my heart to yours. And as you do that, I want you to stretch your neck up a bit and point your, stretching your neck. It feels the throat chakra has some blockage. And so I want you to just breathe as you can. And I'm just showering you with beautiful light. I just see spirit sending you. It's almost like, people maybe you've had this experience of needing to dim your light, to not be so much light, I'm hearing. And so this is really about you reclaiming the power and the proof of your light through your body. And so I'm just seeing you kind of calling in your light and that filling up and then breathing out. And it's so beautiful. I almost see like little wings are starting to develop over your heart space. And I see these beautiful cherub angels just holding your heart. Feels like a lot of inner child healing needs to happen. And so what I want you to do is just allow yourself to access this love and know that it is not separate from you, and that you are on a journey and you are worthy of selling what you are selling because you are only love. The transmission I feel like is going to be very helpful for you tonight. So this is kind of an initial opening, and I feel like what comes through is going to be supportive to you. And so I'm just sending you so much love, and I see you. You're beautiful, and just opening yourself up to believing that. And the angels, I will believe it for you until you can believe it inside.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Thank you. I was
Just
called to be here today. I've never been on one of your calls, John.
I'm glad you're on.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. And I highly recommend a session with Kaley. Like it's worth
I can
it
see.
and then some. It's powerful. I want to ask you a question.
Please.
Is it serving you to believe that you're not loved?
Mm.
No, not at all.
Good to know. Good to know that it's not serving you. So what do you want to choose? You're
Choose love.
you're trying to empower other people, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's good to know what your mission is and what are you choosing? Because you'll be able to empower people in certain ways, but when you really choose to activate the reality that it doesn't serve you to believe that you're not loved,
Mhm.
and it's so easy for us to find those places that prove that we're not loved because we're so used to finding them. But I bet you that if you focus that you can find places where you are. And that's the field you need to be hanging out in because you're not serving anybody, including that yourself, by hanging out in the mud when you can be swimming in crystal clear waters.
That's beautiful.
It's
Thank you.
truth. It's truth. It's beyond beautiful. It's truth.
It
Again,
is true.
It's truth.
yeah, Kaley.
It's truth.
When you're saying that, John, a couple of things popped up in it, and it's almost like this beautiful spark in the heart center that's available and there now. And so as we tend to that, and as we allow ourselves to believe in that, it starts building, right? But something that healers said to me for a really long time before I set out on my own healing journey was have an attitude of gratitude. You know, I was I was a positive person, but I was kind of like, I had a lot of angst inside. I'm not saying that that's that for you, but this is just an example where sometimes the teachings, if we don't have in our nervous system those encodings, the cellular support to believe in feeling grateful, right? Like my life up until I started my healing journey really showed me that I didn't have a lot to be grateful for because things were so hard. And I think that sometimes that humanness that comes in and we have to rewire that. And so that's your invitation. I think John put it so beautifully, is the invitation to believe in yourself so much so that you're going to continue, you know, working on that rewiring and recoding your whole body to the feeling tones and the qualities of self-love and compassion that are yours. They're here now and they're available to you.
All right, brother. Blessings to you and the work
Thank
that you're
you.
doing.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Ooh, let's continue here. And I really feel the guides that are coming in, that it's in our own unique ways, whether it's galactic guides, whether it's Christed consciousness guides, whether it's guides that come from a Sanskrit, Hindu, Buddhist tradition, whether they be elemental. I feel like they're really calling us into our authority. It's like enough of the deprivation of suffering. And we're going to remind you to take your place. And we're going to hold that place for you because it is yours to take. So it's powerful what's coming in. And again, my sessions with you, that was showing up over and over again for me. So it's extraordinary.
Well, and you're right. It's like that higher self energy, even that higher self of you that knows everything, right? Or that oversoul, you know, people call it different things, that true self. I think it's really powerful to gain right relationship with that aspect of who we are, because that's that all-knowing guide that comes through that heart portal that can lead us to all of those abundant waters they overflow with.
Amazing, amazing. I love this. Y'all, we're going to get into a special offer in a second. We're going to take a lot more Q&A. We're going to get into the ISIS transmission. I promise, I promise, I promise. But I'm guided to take another live caller right now, and I want to go to Susan. Welcome to the call. We can't hear you, Susan. If you can find your unmute button. Yeah.
Oh, I was being very grateful. No. Thank you so much for taking my call, Kaley and John. I appreciate the opportunity. So I would say I feel like I have been on a really long journey of grieving
Mm.
More recently, I've kind of popped out to the other side, and I'm now starting to just want to experience fun. And so when the opportunity to go to Egypt came up with John's group, I have no idea about anything about Egypt. And I said, yes, I want to go on this. And so
Yay.
question that I have is there any housekeeping spiritually that I could do to prepare myself for the experiences that I will be encountering while in Egypt?
Well, I'm sure John, who is curating this incredible, opportunity and experience, will have lots of things to say intuitively. The energy that I was kind of picking up on when it was so interesting, because I almost saw you with a backpack, kind of like getting those straps on, going hiking. And so I almost want to encourage you to really focus on just movement and kind of intuitive movement, and really allowing yourself. It almost feels like some of that grief and some of that stuff that still wants to be sloughed off, that maybe your mind has let go of, but maybe that is still stored in the body, to just allow yourself to be with the earth and to almost practice some of these embodiment practices and these grounding techniques, being barefoot on the earth. And I just see you almost picking up these weekend trips, like going on a hike here, or maybe there's a trail or a creek, and just practicing attuning your body to the earth, working with nature in this playful way, and seeing what feedback you get, because it feels like in Egypt, it's going to be this huge sacred, portal with lots of transmissions. And so you're really just kind of having fun, celebrating, letting all of that weight of that grief off, and then really moving with your body and allowing your body to receive the feedback from Mother Earth and nature, and see and play with what messages you get. And just, I don't know, out of kind of curiosity. And I see you with that backpack on. And it's almost like a double entendre, like kind of getting ready for a trip. And then also really an invitation and an opportunity to release any of the baggage or the weight. It almost feels like maybe from the way past, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. I don't know if if you were an eldest child, or if you carried a lot of responsibility. But really, the energetic component to that is really allowing yourself through movement and connection to the earth, to release any energetic baggage, so that you're going and you're able to just fly free and clear, I'm hearing. I don't know, do you have your TSA pre-check and all that stuff in order?
Yes, I have a lot of things in
Okay, because flying free and clear is coming through.
free and clear and fun. It's like important to me right about now, because it's like
Yeah.
I've coming out of a cocoon of some sort.
Well, and celebrate that. I mean, it's such a beautiful time with the summer solstice on Thursday. And so when you think about summertime and all of these beautiful blessings that are sprouting now, that I'm hearing the words done your time, right? Like that's over. Let's step away from that and let's step into the fullness and the wholeness of our light through an embodied life. It's time,
It's time.
have fun. Have fun.
Thank you.
Maybe not be so serious about it too. And be serious, obviously, about it. I don't mean, but have fun. The focus is on feeling light and free and buoyant.
You're so spot on, Kaley. She's just hitting it, like hitting the nail on the head.
I
And
know,
it's so
I
true.
probably should just hand that over to you, because you're going to be
It's
there.
perfect. But this is amazing. It's what Kaley said, ditto, really ditto. And you know, we travel and we go places, and there's a calling, and sometimes there's an expectation of receiving, and that's beautiful, and the curiosity and the awe and the wonder of it. But to be present rather than future thinking, to be in the spontaneity, and for you to attune to that spontaneity through this fun that's rolling through. Not that you had expectations coming, but anywhere where that has lived, of what you had to do to be somewhere, to being your responsible and all that. Um, the spontaneity through your playfulness. And for me, what I get for you also, if there's any part of you that comes up that is in judgment of your joy and fun, or in any guilt or shame that may come up because maybe you're supposed to be mourning and not have fun, if any comes up, that allow that not to be removed, but to flow through your physicality and your mind with the fun that you're bringing in as well. So we're not to reject it, we're to allow it to flow through you so that it can integrate and evolve with you, and but carry the high octave of this freedom that you and your beloved one want you to access at this time.
Nice. Thank
Yeah,
you.
beautiful. Yeah, thank you for coming. I'm so excited to be with you in Egypt.
I
Thank you.
know it. I can't
Yes, we're gonna have a
wait.
blast. Oh my God. I'll share more about that later, y'all. It's crazy. Um, okay, y'all. We're gonna get into more Q&A. We're gonna get into the transmission, but y'all have to check out Kaley's offer. It's the opportunity to work over one-on-one. And is it 4 weeks of working with you? It's anyway.
Yeah.
The link for the special offer, y'all, is in the chat box. Click on the blue link in the chat box. If you can't find it, you can go to a couple of places. You can go to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Kaley33 or beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. And you can always find the special offers in the marketplace. But for ease sake, I say click on the special offer if you can find it in the chat box. And Kaley, guide everybody through what they're going to receive in this very special offer with you.
I'm so excited about this. One of my passions is bringing groups together through healing circles. And I find that group healing is just a special sacred place that we are wired for connection and deep connection, where we can see each other and witness each other as we go through the valleys and the peaks, of this human life. And so what was really amazing, I've been working a lot with the angelic realm, and Isis, of course, is part of that. However, she came through so strongly. Um, I had a lifetime where I was a temple priestess. And so this idea of bringing everybody to a metaphorical temple and being able to bring you through the process of the purification energies, and then being able to utilize the white flame from Isis to reignite that life force and connect all chakras and all levels so that you can truly step into the eternal temple of your soul light. And so this is really about choosing to step out of suffering and being able to step into the eternal temple of your soul.
Mm.
So it's 3 weeks. The third week I have a bonus day. So it's basically 3 Saturdays in a row in August. And then the third Saturday, that Sunday, we have a fourth call, which I'm going to do a Q&A. But just it's an incredible opportunity to just experience the full suite of this energy, and really moving from the choosing to step out of suffering into the purification, and working with a lot of different guides that will come through. But Isis is really holding the show here. She wants to hold the space in the temple, and she wants to be able to support everybody in their ascension.
Amazing. So we're continuing to the second week now, right?
Yeah, so the second week is all about the clearing and the activation. So once we purify, right, when you think about that siphoning of water, where we're clearing out any of the debris and really bringing in all of that crystalline and alkaline water, we can clear at deeper levels. So this is more of a deep karmic clearing. And then at the same time, what's magical about the energy that's coming through right now, used to, we would release and then we would activate. Well, this energy is releasing and activating at the same time, and it's going back and forth through multiple timelines and layers. And so I'll just be doing that in a group format, which will be amazing. It'll be a healing tour. So each experience is going to be me opening up the circle, the virtual circle, and then being able to bring everybody on a healing tour. to experience these energies and to be able to release anything that's holding you back and to really step into the fullness and wholeness of your holy body.
Mm. And y'all, Kaley takes you on a tour. You will go on a ride.
We
Trust
will
me.
go on many rides all at the same time.
Wow. Wow. Um, the golden thread integration. What is this?
So once we activate, so this is where things kind of start merging, right? Because as we purify and as we start clearing and we start activating, then this is really about bringing the golden light of our origin source template down into our bodies, really
Mm.
calling that fullness of our light, and then that washing anything at the deeper levels out so that we can feel more alive, more well, and also to know that our struggles are not who we are. This energy really creates this beautiful path of peace, this pillar of light that allows us to almost shine a microscopic view onto the little things that come up. And we're like, oh, that's not me, and just casting that aside. And so this is really about us going into the depths of these healing energies, but in a very supportive way where we feel safe, where it doesn't feel like anything's moving too fast or too slow. It's moving just at the right pace. And what Spirit has shown me is that it's funny, it's almost like when we experience little traumas and big traumas here on Earth, we can dock some of our light up in the clouds. So using kind of modern day technology, which I love Spirit kind of making it really practical and approachable, but we can kind of dock some of our light up in the cloud. Our origin source template is what they call it to me. And so this is really about pulling all of that down and integrating it and weaving it through all of our cellular structure, moving it all the way down and grounding into the earth. And then the Mother Earth energy coming up and supporting us with all of her love, because she doesn't want to suffer anymore either. And so she really wants us to be emitting healed hearts and all of that beautiful energy. And so she really wants to help support that so we can all really live in greater harmony.
So, Kaley, let me ask you, in these sessions, will you also be giving tools to work with, like simple ones like you've been giving me, so that people can integrate and be in their practice and access those energies on a more consistent basis?
Absolutely. And that's what I love about Spirit, the way that every session has that. So whether I'm working in a group or not, that's going to come through. And even the metaphors that they use, it's very poignant, very um, stuff that we can kind of glom onto. And what I also love is, especially working in a group, they give me a range of metaphors and processes so that it can really meet each individual where they're at, even though we're in a group setting. And that's really, to me, where the bonus comes in, of being able to take live Q&A, to, if anybody's feeling any resistance or if stuff has been coming up, to really be able to work through that live. And then also to just celebrate, right? Like moving through all of that energetically is a lot of amazing work, and it can be hard work sometimes. And so really being able to celebrate, and I almost think about the summer solstice and just this beautiful celebration of life that wants to come through to hold us and honor us.
By the way, I will be at this temple in July as well. So the pyramids are calling y'all. This is amazing. Y'all will go there theoretically with Kaley. So y'all, package A is $147. There's a two-payment option, and I cannot recommend working with Kaley enough, and to do it in these groups, and how I know how she runs those journeys. This is epic. And then if you want package A and a personal session, um, it's a 1 hour healing session with Kaley, which again, I've spoken about already. But Kaley, if you want to drop in a little bit more about what people will receive, that'll be wonderful. And I'll stop sharing screen here so that everybody can see you.
Yeah. So what I love about the combination of these two pieces is that the one-on-one is going to allow me to go deeper, and then really stepping into, at an individual level, each session starts with a short intake conversation where we just talk a little bit about what's been coming up. And that allows me kind of permission to access the energy and to really start feeling into where spirit wants to go. Oftentimes, it's lots of different places and spaces than our conscious mind actually recognizes we need to go. But spirit also wants that person to feel like we're meeting that place that's kind of hurting, so to speak, or wanting to expand. You know, many of us might be in a real expansive time period where we just want to build and grow from a place of already feeling expanded. So just really being able to meet that range. And then each session is just me channeling live the whole time. And releasing for you. So I feel a lot in my body and I'm able to move energy for an individual, as well as giving them the metaphors and the breath work to be able to create a safe environment, coherence between the nervous system, the heart, and the mind, so that we can feel okay about the healing that's about to transpire. And each session just blows me away with how spirit wants to support us in feeling better from the inside out and really being able to know what we're a master of and really being able to bring what we're meant to be here on earth through
Mhm.
that, new embodiment that
Mm.
comes through.
Right. Amazing, amazing what comes through. And in the expansion, you talked about being in the expansion and continuing on that wave. But I also find in the expansion that those little things that we weren't aware could come through also as disruption, that they can seem big sometimes, even though they're little, because again, we're so in that expanded state. So to have the facilitation as those things are dislodged from the density, to the support for that to clear out, in a way that's really elegant and sped up because of the field that's being held, is quite
Mhm.
profound. So it's again, this is fantastic, y'all. It's again, the offer package A is $147. To get package A and package B, which includes your 60 to 75-minute session with Kaley, is $247. There's a two payment option on that as well. And a warning, well, not a warning, but a recommendation. Um, when you have your session, be in a place where you can lay down. It's like you're really gonna be transported, and give yourself that sacred time uninterrupted, where the doorbell isn't gonna ring, kids not knocking on the door, that you don't feel like you're tending to the laundry, a phone call, another meeting, and trying to be in the session as well. Um, it's an extraordinary opportunity, and those of you who are called to it, I recommend that you give it your full attention. Um, Donna's asking if it's necessary or recommended for the 3 weeks to be completed before you schedule a session.
No, I thought about that and I feel like it can go either way, and either way will um feel perfect. And so I think that to experience the one-on-one session before will allow us to do some kind of one-on-one work that will clear and bring in energies, and then you'll go into the temple with heightened awareness of what those things are that you'll want to release. And so um but if you aren't able to get a one-on-one before the temple, kind of the other way around, we'll go into the temple and Isis will bring in just miraculous healing. And then we'll be able to move through that. So either way, it's going to be a really expansive experience. And what's so cool about that too is the one-on-ones really allow me to bring through, I mean, past loved ones have come through, all sorts of different guides. The range of that is really supportive. And so whether you do that before the temple experience or after, it will all flow very seamlessly. I really believe in divine timing, and thinking that, you will pick that time that feels most resonant and it will be perfect.
Yeah, yeah. All right, y'all. The link for the special offer is in the chat box. Again, I cannot recommend it enough. Amazing, amazing facilitation that I've personally received. And I have no doubt that your guides are ready to show up for you in this way as well. So there it is. Y'all take advantage of it. And Kaley, with that, I'd love to drop into a little more Q&A.
Let's do it.
Before we get into the transmission. And Allison, let's go to you. Welcome, Allison. Get you to unmute your microphone, please.
Hello. Yes,
Hi.
it wasn't coming. Thank you. Your office sounds amazing. I'm just loving this heart energy. My question is around the Ankh. Now, I've got the guidance to start my soul mission business around helping women give birth. But more than just that, I've started to do a training as a doula. I had home births, natural births, water births myself, and they were easy and they were initiations and it just flowed for me. And I always knew, I felt that I'd done it before. When people asked me how easy it was for me, and this was 25 years ago, my first birth. But I've kept quiet, and I know I've been healing a lot about the throat chakra. So I'm stepping into it now. And the bigger guidance is to help parents clear the trauma before they even conceive. And I feel that there's something, that's for me to do. And I'm wondering about the Ankh because I'm really drawn to the Ankh, and I know the meaning that I know of it is the key of life. Is there something that I worked with the Ankh before? Anything you can pick up that could help me around that and bring it in?
Well, a release is kind of coming through. So I first just, you have this beautiful sun energy kind of coming in with those blue skies. So maybe just closing your eyes for a moment. I almost want to send some light into your third eye and just kind of cleaning that third eye. I keep on hearing trust. So I think about self-trust, and I also think about experiences that you've experienced, perhaps even in past lives, where you weren't able to trust yourself. And so it almost feels like this connection wants to happen from the heart up through the throat. And I'm just weaving some energy really quickly. It almost feels like there's something that you want to say out loud, but you're afraid to. It almost feels like there's something that you want to say that you want to do, but you're afraid to because of X, Y, and Z. Maybe that doesn't make any sense yet. It's, whatever that is, but it's almost like there's just something coming up, burgeoning from the heart that's like, speak me into existence. It feels like the way that you speak can be very healing. There's healing tones in your voice. And so I feel like you being present, whether that's before a child is born, or perhaps there's packages around where you have somebody who wants to conceive. I've had losses, and those are painful. And so thinking about the darkness and some of that underbelly of conceiving and loss, and really being able to hold space. If you've had these beautiful births, really, then what was it about that was so magical? And then also being able to look at what wants to be shown to you through this initiation that's happening. It feels like there's almost this kind of path that you can take people on, and really zooming out, but really being able to know and be an understudy of some of the things that can go wrong when people have trouble conceiving, when there's trouble, when trouble arises. And so maybe doing a little bit of studying or being an understudy of someone. I'm hearing the key of life, the Ankh, that is a beautiful way of visioning. And so I also feel like it right here. And so, but it almost feels like it's upside down. So I want you to breathe in and just imagine that you're opening your heart to all the possibilities, even if they don't make logical sense right now. And being able to be in that creation space where you don't have to have the final answer right now, but trusting that the answer will come. And it's almost like turning that upright and being able to receive all of the guidance, and then also to be able to cast your vision out and to be able to be an energetic match for that which you want to bring forward. And so just really allowing it, it just feels like there's a lot of force energy. And so just really being in relationship with that and getting back into that open heart energy and not overthinking it too much. And again, that idea of playing with creation. And when you think about life and the creation of life, right? Like how cool is that, that double entendre where you're going to learn so much through that process. Does that resonate? Does that help?
Yeah, no, it really does. The point about, you were spot on with the point about expressing myself, because I have so many visions and I'm a very creative person, and all my work has been around creating. And I've in the past come at a block when it's about putting myself out there and the business side of it. So I can play, the play energy is wonderful for me. I've been guided to make Ankhs and put them out there. But for me, it's more about getting serious. My inner child is very happy, but the serious, I know it doesn't need to be serious, but creating the business side of it, and I'm doing the doula studies, and I know it's trust. I'm trusting that my vibration and what I'm bringing through has a place and is needed. But I've been stuck making a video.
Oh, I
Really
know
stuck.
that.
And I can speak it to people and I'm enthusiastic and it resonates and they go, yeah. But when I made the video, the practice videos, yes, that's where I've been stuck. And I have worked on healing all the times where I've been cut down and killed for speaking my truth. I know that one. And I suppose I'm still working at it.
Yeah.
And
I'd recommend doing a session with Kaley.
I
But
think so
but
too.
like heaven and deeper.
I feel it.
Yeah. Allison, thank you so much.
Oh,
Blessings to
thank
what
you
you're
so much.
doing, this work that you're doing. So beautiful. And keep playing with that creativity. My goodness.
Yeah, thank you
Yes.
so
Mm-hmm. Kaley, something that you mentioned, and I think it's definitely, we're shifting on in our creation modes, because the force is a very masculine energy, forcing things into creation. I know Isis is coming through in a little bit, but the flow, the receptivity of the feminine, and creating from a place of grace, allowing those things to evolve and mature in their own unique blossoming, and the timing of that. Um, I love it if you share a little bit more about that force energy and a reinterpretation of what we're being invited to into creation energy.
I love that, John. That's I feel when you say force, right? I think about my old ways of perfectionism and needing answers now and needing to solve it. You know, our humans want our egos need to solve things very quickly. And so what this practice of the divine, you know, that divine masculine and feminine, the masculine is all about this healed divine container that allows that healed divine feminine and that intuition and flow to flow effortlessly. So it's almost as if each of us have this beautiful divine masculine container that allows all of the downloads, all of the insights, all of the heart-led, soul-led information to flow through us effortlessly, and to also have the patience when we need to call on spaciousness and there's a point A and a point B, and there's time in between. And I feel like so often we want to keep creating, and there's so much that we're tied to in terms of we as humans being wired for levels of productivity that are just honestly impossible nowadays with the way technology has advanced. And so we have to really call ourselves out on where we are being driven by fear, lack, scarcity, productivity, because we're trying to prove our worth. So it's really looking at what that motive is. And if we're coming from a place of knowing I am enough, and I actually, everything that we do is kind of icing on the cake. It's really about mastering the way that we are being in our beingness through our vessels. And
Right.
so to me, the force starts creating tension and it almost creates energetic blocks blocking the flow. Whereas when we're in complete trust and in complete surrender, and we notice that we're starting to amp up and get into that spiral of wanting to force and saying, you know what, I'm not going to subscribe to that. I'm going to bring myself back into the heart space, and I'm going to create spaciousness to allow this to flow, or perhaps go up and see it from higher perspectives, being able to see new possibilities and options that allow us to flow through very easily.
Right. And what's coming through also, again, the guidance that's coming in from so many benevolent beings. It's like the skies have opened and we have
Oh,
so much assistance. It's one thing to be in flow and surrender and openness, but the truth is that we're learning, we're embedding, like in a cellular level, every cell of our being is being ignited in a new way. And so to have the assistance, because just because someone tells you to surrender doesn't mean that's going to happen right away.
and
There's
it's so hard
acclimation.
with our humanness, right? Like we're
Yeah,
so human.
right. And so it's so funny that you shared that the Ankh was turned upside down. And if you think of a doula, it's like trying to give birth to a baby that's a breech.
I love, yes.
Moving it around, getting it in alignment so that the natural, organic way that it desires, that it's meant to be born, can be facilitated. And so there was just so much in that symbolism that you shared in that, and in the doula energy, and then the birth thing that's coming through, that is such a beautiful metaphor for how we can really tune into ourselves when we're trying to force something and it's not coming out. That video isn't being created. It's like, take a step back, allow for the alignment to take place and to shift within you. And you'll find that the creation energy from that really happens without much efforting with you, but in complete alignment with you and from you.
I love that, John, because I feel that part of that is really embracing our humanness and knowing that we chose to be here at this time and we are on purpose for a purpose.
Mhm.
And when we really own that humanness and we start turning into our human and loving it, its flaws, the shadow self, the dark parts, when that fear comes up, or when that kind of feeling of, that self-judgment, being able to reparent ourselves and bring ourselves in and say, you know, you're human. Of course you feel that way, but really being able to guide ourselves back to the heart. And that's something that I still have to do. You know, as a mom of 3, those kids can trigger me, and it's like coming, and of course they're children. They're meant to, right? Like they're making me grow, and it's, but really being able to say, gosh, that's so human of me to feel that way. You
Mm.
know, of course I'm feeling afraid about making that video. I haven't really done it before. And
Yeah.
wow, I'm really putting some new ideas out there, and I'm afraid that somebody might judge that. And it's like, when you break it down like that and we kind of are coaching ourselves, and then you say, all right, well, I see that part of me, and bringing that in to the heart, guide me,
Mm.
show me the way forward. And even if that means go take a nap, go take a bath, go take a walk, you know, something unrelated to the task at hand, just to create some spaciousness so that you can get some new guidance coming in. And
Mhm.
spirit's right here. I mean, I
Oh
just
yeah.
feel them. It's like our posse is just right here. It's like, hey, can you come in and help me with this? I'm feeling a little
Yeah.
nervous.
Yeah. Amazing. All right. We have to get into communion with Isis. I want to take one more caller though. I know we may run a little bit over, y'all, but it's Rose. I'm so guided to call on you. Is it okay, Kaley, if we run a little bit
Yeah,
over?
I'm here all
Awesome.
night. All
Okay.
good.
Hey, Rose.
Hi, thank you so much, John.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, the whole session I can't stop yawning. Must be some huge clearing going on, I believe. So it was very interesting because yesterday I haven't been in John Cost for a while, and it was a strong calling. And I had been through a phase where, like I had the awakening phase, and then more like opening up for starseed and multidimensional guidance, that kind of thing. And then it came back, like coming home to like, I call Jesus, Yeshua, Yahusha, in my heart. I really, because I had a strong, two very strong mystical experience with him. One as like 17 years old, and then another one in India. And finally, like I really invited him in my heart. But then it became a phase where, oh my God, how I integrate everything. Nevertheless, the question I want to ask you is that today, something completely, I'm not going to go into the long story, but something really opened up. And I went out. I hadn't done that in a while, and I even filmed myself speaking, like in my Instagram account, and I felt that the unicorn energy is really coming strong. But today, in the sky, like when you see the activation on the clouds, I saw a lot of the elemental, the activations through the clouds. But then there was this one that, and synchronicity, because somehow I am in my art studio. I paint a lot of things that have jellyfish, and it was literally these rows of jellyfish clouds on the sky. I want to show on a painting. I want to see if you get
Rose,
something.
what's your question? Because I want to
Is
honor
that
Kate
like
this time
what
also.
would
Yeah.
be the jellyfish energy?
What's
If
the
she gets
jellyfish? Yeah,
anything.
you don't have to
Yeah,
show us.
because it's like this, my paint. But I mean,
Amazing.
I saw on the clouds, like, if she gets anything, what would be the energy? Because it was strong, like,
The question that keeps coming up is what feels true to you. I feel like I picked up on this kind of creative energy, and even looking at some of that, the bright, brilliant red behind you. And where I was also guided is your lower back. So kind of the sit bones and your lower back, and really being able to, it almost feels like, do you feel supported and grounded in? I would actually love to do a session with you if you feel
I will do a
called, because I
session with
feel
you.
like we could do some anchoring in, and then it really feels like you to intuitively answer what feels true for you. What is the jellyfish calling you for? What is it calling you to do? And that feels like an important question for you to be able to explore and be able to feel into through the body. But it feels like there's maybe some self trust. And I'm picking up on past life stuff. It feels fragmented. And so really being able to create some wholeness and connection that allows you to be able to answer that question.
Yeah, because the lower back thing that you mentioned, it's totally true, because I've had in the last few weeks a lot of strong mid lower back. I wake
I'm
up
getting a lot of that.
a lot actually.
So just try to breathe some spaciousness, and it's almost like imagining that you're connecting your whole body together again, with that breath
Thank you.
going all the way up and all the way down.
Okay,
Beautiful,
thank you so
Rose.
much.
Yeah, schedule your
you.
session. That's
Yes,
wonderful.
absolutely.
And it's good to see you. I don't mean to cut you off, but again, I want to be really conscientious of everybody's time on the call today as well. And there's something else also that so many of y'all are really grounded in as well, but sometimes we can get lost in looking for interpretations and meaning in so many things that we lose ourselves. I've been known to pull out the tarot decks for days, and it's like, oh wait, hold on a second. It's like it's right here. I got this, and the message came through, and the same message came through in 10 different ways. But I'm looking for something else, and I lose myself in the process. So where is it? Can I listen, like really pause, breathe, be still, and just in the silence, be in relationship with the signs that are internal, not looking for it in the cloud or in the unicorn or in the tarot card or in the crystal. There really is a call to leadership within ourselves that I feel very strongly coming up collectively. And you can see it in the world around us, where politics and education systems and social structures that we have given so much of our decision making too, so that we can be comfortable. Those things have to realign and reassemble in different ways, because again, it's an indication of how we're being called to our own self-mastery and being aware of that, and then gifting that mastery to the world. And so how wonderful, how wonderful. Kaley, I know we've gone long, but I'd still love to get into the Isis message if you're open and ready.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't think she's
Wonderful.
gonna let me do anything other than she's
Awesome.
been here all day, ready to do this. So I'm excited. All right, so I just want everybody to take a few deep breaths, and really as we transition from the Q&A, and really a lot of times we are all so connected, we might pick up on energy that doesn't belong to us. You know, we're so human in that. And so really allowing yourself through your breath to first just connect in with your body, releasing anything that doesn't belong to you, sending that to the light, connecting into the wholeness that you are, the wholeness that you've always been, the wholeness that you always will be. And I want to transport us just quickly to this beautiful land. And I see this amazing temple, almost as if it's the picture of the temple that John flashed up on the screen. And all day I've been feeling just Isis building this energy and this healing that wants to come through to just help you to open deeper, more expansively into the truth of who you are through the loving awareness of your heart as the sacred portal to your ascension and your ascending to the throne of your own eternal light, as that self-master, that self-knower, that self-lover, really allowing yourself to just feel into all of that. And as I speak those words, there's just beautiful golden light being offered from Father Sky down over through your body, just as you breathe in all of that light, breathing out, allowing yourself to release anything and everything that is not congruent to the truth and the light that you truly deeply are, that you always have been, and that you always will be. And as you're working through that breath, breathing in all of that light, breathing out, allowing yourself to release, dispel, dispense of anything and everything that is not congruent to your eternal nature, letting it all go. And the picture that I'm seeing is Isis showing me this beautiful grid of light. It's almost like it's out on this amazing field in front of her temple. And I'm seeing each of us as if we have our own little pods within the grid of light. And as we're breathing in this light, she's walking the rows of all of the people. And as she walks, she's helping to amplify the energies. Mother Earth is bringing up all of her healing and breathing in all of that clearing of the density, and breathing out, allowing yourself to release anything and everything that is not congruent to the wholeness, fullness, and holiness that you are. And really allowing yourself to feel into that lifting. I just see everything kind of lifting up and out that can be released. And then what's so beautiful as Isis is walking this beautiful grid of light, we're kind of coming back online. So where the light was dark, it's now blue. And then I see some of us turning to white. And then I see this beautiful lifting. And everybody's going to be on their own timeline here, but lifting into this ascension, lifting the veil up into the ascendant energies. And it's so beautiful because I see almost as if we're tethered to the earth. And the tether is showing me as the umbilical cord connected to the mother that we were birthed from, to Mother Earth. And just like we talked about those siphoning energies earlier, really allowing any of those densities, any of the old stuff to be taken out, released into the earth, transmuted back into beautiful healing energy. And then breathing in all of that light, clearing so that you have a pure, unconditionally loving and supportive connection to that umbilical cord energy. There's no judgment here. Just a huge offering of love and light and connection and interconnection and inner love and inner light. And it's amazing because the next step here and the final step is really this kind of geyser that comes up and lifts us up. And all of a sudden, we're all kind of floating in this water. And we're on our backs and almost as if we're reborn through this beautiful purification energy, little babies just bouncing on this water, beautiful hearts open, unconditionally loved and supported in that beautiful tether to the earth, grounding down into the earth. Father Sky sending more energy down, beautiful healing energy, opening, expanding, dispelling, dispensing of anything that is not congruent with the light that you are. And then just very slowly, as you breathe in that light, breathing out, and it just slowly grounds you down into the earth, that geyser, that beautiful wellspring, that offering goes back down into the ground. And you stand tall and sure-footed on the earth, feeling lighter and freer, and able to sense from your heart space your next right action. And Isis is saying, blessing upon blessings for a happy solstice. Abundance is yours. It is yours now. Love is yours. It is yours now. Peace is yours. It is yours now. You want to feel healed. You are healed now and forever. And so it is. Just grounding into the earth and allowing yourself to feel and sense and float a little bit, but be grounded and connected so that you can move through this human life in all of the beautiful ways that you're meant to.
Ah, what a beautiful transmission. When you brought in Father Sky, I felt that just raining through my heart and being. That was so
The
amazing.
masculine, the feminine, it's beautiful.
Wow, wow. Thank you for that. Y'all dive in deeper with Kaley. The special offer, it's in the chat box. Click on the blue link now. Keep it open if you need to read it. And come back and listen to the replay and receive the transmission of the full call, or even the message from Isis here at the end. Just take advantage of the opportunity to swim in these energies as much as you can. What a gift. What a gift. So many people, so much appreciation writing. T, this is the first Beyond the Ordinary webinar I've attended. That was lovely, so calming. Thank you. Yeah, you joining. Good call. Amazing. Kaley, thank you so much for
thank you.
this intelligence that runs through you, that you're so open to gifting to other ones. And it's a heart intelligence. It's just, and it's the transmissions, and your dedication to it is such an inspiration. So thank you for what you do and how you do it and how you choose to express it for all of us to benefit from.
It is my mission and my honor, and thank you likewise, right back at you. I just feel so grateful. And as I said, this community has done so much for me in my journey, and I'm just so grateful to be able to pour back into it. Thank you.
Well, we receive
I
it.
wouldn't have been here in this capacity if it weren't for you. So thank you.
I love that. We just keep giving to each other.
Yeah.
Y'all, thank you, everybody on this call, listening to the
so much love.
Y'all are just, so much love to each and every one of you. I bow to you in namaste. I'll see you on the next call. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.